guys, so I am back. I just came from doing another video with my niece Sierra. Say hi, babe.
Hi.
So it turns out that it's not the 21st today, just like I said. Auntie was right. And today's the 20th. So happy Sunday, everybody. And let me adjust this phone because this phone is acting up. Okay. Oh, I don't want it to be too dark. Okay, technical difficulties. So, okay. Now, in this video, I want to talk about something that's very important. Parents saying certain things to their children. Now, parents, they raise us, they love us, they take care of us. Well, most of them, they take care of us and love us. They put clothes and food on our backs. But sometimes when it comes to what they say to you, it affects you. You know, there are a lot of children out there and people to this day who feel like they haven't measured up to what their parents wanted them to be. And they just feel like every time they see their parent, they're just a big disappointment. And it does something to your self-esteem. It makes you feel really bad about yourself. When you feel like you're not what your parent wants you to be, and you're not making them happy because of it. So there are a lot of people who come into this world, they do everything their parent wants them to do, and they end up being unhappy because it's not their true passion. So I just believe that parents need to be careful with what they say to people. For example, now one day, my niece, there was this big like Hummer limousine thing parked on the car.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let me explain it. Now, she walked up to the car and she looked through the mirror. Any parent could see that that's something potentially dangerous. But because she's a child and she's innocent in the mind. I'm not going to say that because children nowadays are definitely not innocent anymore. Things are more out in the open with sex and homosexuality and all kinds of craziness, drugs. Like, there's just so much nonsense that's going on in this world that's so out in the open now that children aren't even children anymore. You speak to the typical 10-year-olds at like this day and age, and they could speak to you as if they're 20 years old. Like, a lot of them are having sex now. A lot of them are doing a lot of stuff that was kept secret and in the closet at least 10 years ago. I remember when I was like 12 or 13, I might have thought about stuff like that, but you did not. I might have spoke about it amongst my friends in private, but you never would have caught me outside saying some craziness or if I did something sexually, because I definitely didn't. That didn't happen until I was almost 18, but that's not the point. The fact is, the average 10-year-old, the average children now these days and young teenagers and preteens and everything, they're not the way they used to be a decade ago. So,
Decade?
She's just, a decade, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so she went up to the car and she looked at it. Now, the problem with that is there are a lot of sickos out there nowadays that will just open up the car door and snatch them. But she didn't understand that because, she's a little, I'm not going to say sheltered, but she's very innocent. And that's a beautiful quality to have. But it's beautiful yet dangerous because nowadays, as I was explaining earlier, things are not the same. Once again, this cat, I swear. Close the door, Sierra. Okay. Butter, please. Okay. Sorry, you guys. So, because innocence is such a beautiful yet dangerous quality to have, especially with this craziness going on in the world. You can see how that can be an issue. That you think that you could take somebody's word for it. Nowadays, you can barely trust your family members because of all the foolishness that goes on in this world. There are so many things that are just wrong that are going on that you just want to try to protect your children from it. But there has to be a balance. You have to find a way to have your kid, I'm not going to say street smart and book smart. You have to find a way to make sure they go to school every day. Make sure they do their homework. Make sure that they do what they need to do. But at the same time, you have to take them out into the street and show them the world. You have to let these children live. If you don't let these children live, it's going to get worse as they get older. They're going to go out there in the world and bug out because they've had such strict rules and tight leashes on them. You guys have to be careful what you say. My sister, she was very upset. So, she yelled at her. she was saying, why did you do this? You know, you should know better. You should know better. But the thing is about children, they come into this world with a clean slate. They don't know anything. They won't know unless you show it to them, unless you teach them at first. So that's why I took my niece out today, and I was walking with her, and I was explaining the train system to her, you know. I was explaining it because she's going to go to middle school this September coming up. She's going to go to a new middle school. She's probably going to go to someplace downtown away from 125th Street. Yes, I live in Harlem, Manhattan, New York, whatever, because I know YouTube places all over the world. So don't stalk me. I better not find y'all. But so I was teaching her the difference between uptown and downtown. We live closer to uptown, but the only way you would know that you live closer to uptown is if you're downtown. So yeah, I'm not going to get into that. You guys know the deal when it comes to traveling. But because she's new at it, I was showing it to her. I was breaking it down for her, and I'm going to teach her how to do the certain steps. But I just told her, I explained to her the other day, she's not yelling at you for the sake of you're stupid, you're this, you're that, you have no common sense. No, children don't have that much common sense until they observe life that's going on around them, and unless they're shown what is going on, and unless they're explained why it's wrong in the first place. Now she knows from now on not to go up to someone's car and look in it. I don't care how nice it is, because there are people that prey on innocence out there, and they're sick, and it makes you want to keep your child locked up forever for the sake of keeping them protected. But as you're protecting them, you're also hindering them from living and knowing better and being careful. Things happen every day, sadly. Something can happen to you as you just go outside and go across the streets of the store. Anything can happen. But in ways that you can prevent it from happening is if you take your kid out with you. And every day, you teach them a lesson. Like, okay, you see those kids running around the street? You don't do that. Why don't you do that? Because you might get hit. So that's another lesson. Don't go being nosy looking around at someone's car, because you never know who's inside the car. It's just a lot of different lessons we need to teach these children. We need to not make them feel like they're stupid or dumb if they made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, but that mistake could have costed her life, God forbid. It could have been a different situation. It could have been something much worse than what it was. It was a very innocent mistake, and even the innocent mistakes could lead up to a big one. But parents, I don't have any children yet, but this is something that just came to my mind the other day, so I just want to share it with the world. Parents, please be careful about what you say to your children, because it can hurt you to this day. I remember there were times when my mom said I was unreliable. That hurt me. And sometimes it makes me feel that I'm still unreliable. We just have to be very careful what we say to these children out here. They are the future. Children are the future. Be careful what you say to them, because it could be that one little thing that you'll overlook. Like, for example, one day they did something that was stupid, and you called them stupid. Instead of saying what you did was stupid, you're saying, oh, you're stupid. That can definitely do a lot of psychological damage to somebody in the long run. We may think it's something small, but when you're a young child and you look up to your parent and they're pretty much your hero, that can crush their world. Please, parents, be careful what you say to your children. I know I said that a million times, but it's something that's very serious, and it can ruin relationships as time goes by. So that's just a little something I wanted to talk to you guys about, little food for thought. You guys enjoy your Sunday. It is February 20th. I was right. Say bye, Sierra.
Later, you guys.
All right. Peace, you guys.